Just us. Just us.
Charlotte Hornets were buzzing around Chase Center yesterday in the game against the Golden State Warriors as we reach the closing end of the homestand. And the trend continues, thankfully. The Warriors won.
136 to 116.
Nice.
So they're 5-1 on this homestand, this 8-game homestand. We've been to pretty much every home game on this
so far,
homestand,
yeah,
which has been exciting.
It's great. We're going to one more.
We're going on Monday.
To the Heat game.
Yes.
But in this game against the Hornets, it was a mostly stress-free game. There were some moments where it was like, uh-oh, are they about to do what they do and give up the lead? But thankfully, they stuck to it. I think let's start at the top. One of the more interesting stories was Jimmy Butler being announced as part of the starting lineup. And then when the tip-off play was being drawn up at the bench, it was pretty much revealed there that he won't be playing. Like very, very last second, he won't be playing.
Which is very unusual. That typically doesn't happen where a few seconds before tip-off, a player is announced to be out. But he was out for personal reasons. We don't know what those personal reasons were, but he wasn't on the bench. He was there right up until, when his name was announced for the starting lineup, he was there.
Even after that,
yeah.
When they were like literally as they were getting ready to go to center court to have the tip-offs, just before that he was
in the
visible.
huddle.
He was you could see Draymond like jumping up and down and pointing at him. And Jimmy was like laughing at him as well.
But I think an indication might have been that he wasn't wearing his jersey. He was just wearing his white tank top on the sidelines, which I was like, that is kind of weird.
But he could have been wearing it underneath. Usually sometimes they do.
That seemed a bit off, but Will Richards started in his place.
Yeah.
And imagine what mental fortitude that takes to not expect to be in the starting lineup and then just be like, hey, Will, go. Right?
Yeah.
And Will is just such a professional as a rookie. He does everything the coaches ask of him. He, when we met him last weekend, he was just so nice, such a gentleman. And he puts in 150% effort on every play.
So a lot of people that have been following him attribute that flexibility to his 4 years in college, where his role changed numerous times. And he just rolled with the punches and came out a champion at college level. And it seems like that's part of his skill set, that flexibility. His stay readiness reminds me a lot of Loon, where Loon could sit out for games on end and then you put him in and he's ready to roll. So it's good to have someone like that.
Let's talk about another player who is game ready. Buddy Heild got first quarter minutes. He had a DNP in the last game. As you know, he's been sitting quite a bit and has not been part of the core rotation. I think because of Jimmy being out of the game, the rotations had to change pretty significantly.
Yes.
So Buddy came on and he had 18 minutes in total, scored 14 points, 5 of 8 from the field. But I would say more so than his scoring, his defense and hustle were on display.
Yeah, he immediately was just active hands. There was one point where he scored, I think, and then intercepted an inbound ball from Charlotte. And after a bit of chaoticness, converted that as well, I believe.
And then he got a block. It was a layup steal block, in the first quarter. He contributed. And I think he really just wanted to show, hey, put me in more. Throughout the rest of the game.
I don't know if there was I think that's probably part of it, but I don't know if there's any sort of intent or message trying to be delivered, because a lot of people seem to say Buddy, regardless of if he's playing or getting DMP'd, he's the exact same level of energy. And you can see that if you pay attention to the bench when he's not playing. It's not like Kuminga, where he's got his arms folded, he's slightly slouched down, he's just kind of barely paying attention. Buddy is focused. He's got a ball in his hands. He's moving it around. He's tracking players. He's jumping up and down in response to what's happening. And then when the players are within earshot, he's calling out advice to them. So,
he's talking. He's being
active. A lot of
active.
people. Steve Kerr said it. Jimmy said it, and Steph said it the other day as well. It's Buddy is the best teammate to have, because regardless of if he's playing or not, he's got the same kind of energy. And I think that level of coming on and just being active and being able to do all that, it is just part of his personality, I think. And it does extend to his three-point shooting in a lot of ways, where he does have that goldfish mentality where he's going to keep shooting. Even if he's missing, he'll keep trying. And he won't let him the misses dissuade him from trying. But he's better at stopping when he knows that he doesn't have it and trying to do other things, which is exactly what he did yesterday. He missed a couple threes and then just switched to layups immediately and defense, which was massive.
Yeah, the Warriors had another really good three-point shooting night, though, which was incredible to see. They made 23 three-pointers, which I think is the second best this season in terms of volume of threes.
Same people that were making those and the same people who are kind of missing them. Steph had another cold night.
Yeah, poor Steph, but like...
He had this last year. He has this every season. Mid-season, he has a weird... slump. And then that lasts for maybe 3 or 4 games. And then he comes back and is brutal.
He still had 14 points, 6 of 12 from the field. And he was assisting. He had 5 assists. Some of those were like that no-look bullet pass.
Mm-hmm.
Who was that to?
I think it might have been to Will.
I think it was to Will.
Yeah.
But he had some incredible passes that were just in previous games might have been turnovers, but thankfully they converted in last night's game.
I think the post-game revealed pretty much what everyone was seeing. The Warriors were getting more shots because the Charlotte Hornets were playing as Draymond described it, a gimmicky defense, where essentially every opposing player, all 5, were on Steph. They were just following him everywhere, and they kind of were trying their best to take him out of the game, which left multiple other players open a lot more. So Draymond shot a bunch of threes and made them. He had, 19 points by the end of the game?
He had 20 points. He had 4 three-pointers. And, he had to take advantage of that defensive gap. Yeah,
Moody was also continuing his kind of like consistent three-point shooting and made a bunch of those as well. Podz has been playing great. He had a load of open shots as well and took them and made quite a few of them. So the gimmicky defense that Draymond mentioned was definitely beneficial for the Warriors.
Well, let's talk about the gimmicky defense because at one point, Steph was near the Hornets bench and he started kind of just walking towards the tunnel.
Yeah.
Like out of bounds, off the court, and Colin Sexton followed him, defending him, and he wasn't even on the court.
Yeah. Well, there's in the post-game, Steph said, like, I knew what I was doing, and I think he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, it was a joke,
he was
obviously.
Having fun. But that's happened before.
Yeah.
Remember there was a previous game, I can't remember who it was, where Steph was not on the court. He was on the sideline, but he stood up. He had his towel on his head, and he stood up to, like, react to see something going on. And the opposing player was guarding him.
And then Podz was wide open.
Yeah. And it's like, what are you doing? He's not on the court. You're missing the guy who's on the court.
Yeah.
So it's that, like, many people say no one in the history of the NBA has been guarded like Steph Curry's been guarded.
He was being held left, right, and center.
Yeah. Even Steph has started to, I feel like he's starting to not push back. He's starting to poke back a bit where yesterday during his post game, he said it's something along the lines of, it's funny to see how egregious it is and people can get away with now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the league does not care about people breaking rules and aggressively holding Steph, and because that's pretty much what was happening. He was getting pushed over a few times as well.
And then, so the Warriors typically do the 2-guard screen action, kind of getting Steph the high screen at the top of the key. And GP2 was trying to get Steph open, but he got called for multiple offensive fouls.
Yeah, GP2 was fouling all over the place.
I know. It was a bit
He also
chaotic.
missed a dunk, which was not great. Look for him. He like, the ball bounced off the rim and just was out of view.
Yeah, but like I think the Warriors were trying to get Steph open, but when they were realizing like, hey, that's not working, other players just stepped up big time. And we're we're going to, take this and run with it.
Yeah, that one player in particular, De'Anthony Melton.
Yeah, let's talk about Melton.
What a guy. It's so fun to watch. And I keep saying, like, there was a reason we had such a good start 2 seasons ago, and it was De'Anthony Melton.
Yeah.
And the moment he left, the Warriors nosedived. And we didn't have him last season, and it was rough. This season, from the moment he came back on, knock on wood, he's been fantastic.
And he just played, he started playing in December. So he's really only had about 6 weeks on the court. Last night he had a season high 24 points, but he's contributing a lot more than just offense.
What I love to see him doing is the stuff that no one else tries to do, which is the stuff that I think a lot of us wanted Kuminga to do, where he'll get the ball, he'll assess the situation, and if he has an opportunity to drive, even if it involves juking or taking the ball in one direction just to quickly pivot to another one, he will try. And his wingspan is such that he can either usually, if it looks bad, he can usually pass the ball out, or he can get a shot off or a layup over even potentially tall bigs.
Yeah, he has a very complete game. Like, he's scoring, but he also had like 5 rebounds last night. He had 3 assists. He had 1 steal. He had a block, right? He's doing everything, which makes him a really lethal player.
I think the moment of the game involved him with LaMelo. It was like, third quarter, last 10 seconds, I believe. And LaMelo was doing his thing where ISO or whatever.
He was trying to be cute.
He was trying to be
cute.
He was dribbling under his legs. He was doing
crossover.
Because a couple of games ago, there was that highlight of him like shifting and making a player fall over, which he does frequently. He's that kind of like tricksy type player. And he started doing it to Melton. And Melton he's staying focused and watching him. Melton kind of got pushed back. If you watch the highlight, it looks like he had his ankle broken, but he didn't. LaMelo pushed him. Mm-hmm. But he recovered off that push almost immediately, came forward, and just LaMelo, still doing his weird, fancy, cute little moves, just stuck his hand in there at pinpoint precision, took the ball away, and was off to the other side.
Yeah.
And he didn't make the layup because he got fouled. But when that happened, the sound of Chase Stadium it felt like Oracle again for a second. Like, it was so deafeningly loud because people were like, yeah, cook that little nerd. And that's exactly, if you watch it on the broadcast, it cuts to LaMelo and LaMelo looks like defeated.
I think was the turning point because in the third quarter, so the Warriors had a pretty good lead in the first quarter. Yeah. At halftime, it was 69-57. In the third quarter, the Hornets cut it to within 3 points.
Yeah.
So they started gaining momentum, but I feel like that final play in the third quarter really solidified that the Warriors are going to win.
Yeah. From there, it helped that the Charlotte's shooting just kind of fell off a cliff a bit, but from there, the defense locked in even more, and they were very diligent about getting rebounds and contesting shots, which is exactly what you need when you have the momentum on your side. You want to make sure you kind of hold it there, make sure the pendulum doesn't swing back the other way. And that's exactly what they did, and it led to a comfortable victory. Even when Charlotte increased the pace significantly, in the same way that teams have done in the past, where they feel like they're slightly behind, they'll just ramp it up a bit. The Warriors kept up.
Exactly. So player of the game, in my mind, De'Anthony Melton.
Yep.
Followed by Draymond Green.
Yeah. Draymond was fantastic. A little bit fouly, but if anyone on the team is going to foul, it's going to be him.
Yeah, because he's guarding.
He's guarding. Yeah, he's active all the time. He's, flight control.
He's being aggressive.
Yeah. But great game. Next one's going to be an interesting one because I said the Knicks. If we beat the Knicks, I'll be confident. I think I'm more confident now. Charlotte was a game we should have won on paper. It was a trap game, which thankfully we didn't fall into the trap of. We navigated around that Looney Tunes ass hole that was waiting for us, which is good because previously we wouldn't have. And now we've got another test in that we're playing a team that's kind of on equal footing with the Warriors. They're in the 7th place in the same
8th place. So they're 22-20.
And the Warriors are 8th in the West, I believe.
We are 8th, 24-19. So pretty equally matched. They did beat us last time, so I think this will be a revenge game for the Warriors.
Yeah, and that I think hopefully Jimmy will be back. And Jimmy always likes to try and play well against his former teams, and that was his previous team. I think I would love to see Jimmy showing Tyler Hero what's what for a little bit. We'll also be reunited with Wiggins.
Oh, I miss Wiggs.
Who made a game-winning 3 the other day against, I think it was OKC or something.
Good for him.
Yeah, he's playing
thriving.
well, yeah. He was the other one where I was like, if we are really stuck for trades, I would not be mad if Wiggins came back. Knows the system, has the ability, Maple Jordan, I'll be okay with that. But, in terms of trade rumors, there was a rumor going around that it was going to be MPJ, and now people said, the Warriors haven't talked to the Nets in a while, and there's no interest in MPJ. Yesterday, more reports saying the Warriors are interested in MPJ and talks have been ongoing and there's something brewing.
Oh, geez. Okay, so a little flip-floppy.
Basically what you need to understand is don't trust anyone. Everyone's lying.
Don't believe what you read online unless it comes from us. We're trusted sources.
Yeah. Tams Charania over here. Me, that's what I call myself. We have to give you a reporter name as well.
Yeah. Let's go over boobies and butthole.
Two boobies, definitely win. I'm always going to put a win in there. And De'Anthony Melton continues to be exemplary. Also, like, we breezed over it, but, like, Al Horford was pretty good as well yesterday.
He was.
He made a few threes and good blocks as well. He challenged some shots and contested them, and it got some good defensive stops. But, yeah, I would say De'Anthony Melton in the win. And then the butthole is probably whatever happened to Jimmy. I hope since then, Mike Dunleavy apparently contacted Steve Kerr to say Jimmy's fine. It's all good. Doesn't expect it to be a long-term issue going forward. So current expectation is he'll be back. But whatever it was, hope it's all good.
Yeah. I think for me, the butthole was also just not seeing Jimmy play. We were so excited, always excited to see what he does, especially coming off of that 32-point game in the previous one. Boobies for me, the win and Will Richards' dunk.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Will had an incredible steal.
I think that's the bullet pass from Steph.
Yeah. No. This was a fast break.
Yeah.
So he stole the ball. I love when he does that. He has at least 1 or 2 per game when he has minutes. And he stole it and he dunked so hard that he like raised himself above the rim and like hung there for like a minute or 2, and he was screaming while he was doing that. He was so hyped.
And the pursuing player just kind of, as he raised himself, like passed underneath him.
Yeah.
So it was almost like he had awareness of the player behind him and like pulled himself up to avoid collision. But it looked very smooth and very cool.
Yeah. I liked that play a lot. And also Chase Center erupted at that point too. I feel like the crowd was pretty good last night. Yeah,
the crowd was pretty good. There's a lot of criticism of the Chase crowd where, you know, people post pictures of Oracle and it's just like normal fans like us, just top to bottom. And then they post pictures of Chase and it's like the front 5 rows
all
are just
tech bros.
People, tech bros. And that is very accurate. And it pisses me off to no end because sometimes you'll look down and look across and be like, oh, there's the entire first row is dudes in suits who are just miserable, and then all 3 rows behind them are empty. It's like, come on, guys, you can.
Our section was very lively.
Yeah, but yesterday it was good. I like to see that kind of, and you could tell it had an impact, and that's where it's important. You could tell it was stifling the Charlotte Hornets at times, which is, you know, people talk about the crowd being an extra play in a game at key moments, and yesterday it felt like that.
For sure. Well, thanks for tuning in. We will see you on Monday. Just us on 3. 1, 2, 3. Just us.